Welcome to Public Domain Video Theater presented by the great detectives of old-time radio. From Boise, Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham. If you have a comment, send it to me, box13@greatdetectives.net. Today we're going to bring you an episode of Richard Diamond, though the title sounds like it's an episode of Dragnet. This is Season 1, Episode 7. The original air date, August the 12th of 1957. And the title is The Big Score.
Now, a private detective hears a lot of unusual stories, but the particular story I was listening to started to fit into a somewhat familiar pattern. My client, Mrs. Farrell, was worried about her husband. It seemed like he'd gotten himself into some trouble, and unless I missed my guess, I could have filled in the details before she finished talking.
Mr. Diamond, my husband seems completely obsessed with this idea that he's involved in a murder.
And you're obsessed with the idea that he's not?
Yes. Something happened. Something did happen. And I want you to find out what.
Well, there is a chance that my findings are not going to agree with your convictions, you know.
Well, they say eventually the truth will out. I happen to believe it.
Well, give me everything you can. Names, places.
There's so little. I noticed that something was terribly wrong when my husband came back from New York last time. That was a month ago.
That's back to your home in Cape Cod.
Yes. He refused to tell me anything. But a few nights ago, I found him alone in the den. Mr. Diamond, my husband isn't a drinking man, but this particular night, he began to mumble.
Well, did he kill somebody?
That somebody had been killed here in New York, in a hotel room.
Well, what else?
There was something about betting on the horses and some men he'd met who had a scheme where they couldn't lose, but they lost.
Did your husband send for a lot of money when he was in New York?
Oh, yes, he did. $25,000.
Well, Mrs. Farrell, I have an idea what happened, but I can only prove it if I catch up with these playmates of your husband.
Well, where do you start?
By taking you to dinner. And then I'll write a little play in which I will star, and you will finance. A few days later, I arrived at the Hilldale Country Club at Cape Cod, complete with new suit and identity. Mr. Farrell was worried and preoccupied, but I pretended not to notice. Now, Mrs. Farrell introduced me to her husband and friends as a wealthy industrialist from Canada on my way to a business parley in New York. And I'd been cramming like a schoolboy before an exam to make my bit convincing. During the evening, I met 50 different people, and I stressed the fact that I was leaving on the midnight flyer. One of them, I hoped, had spotted me as a likely prospect.
Well, dear, I think we'd better leave now.
I'll walk to the car. I have a train to catch.
Good night.
Good night.
Ed? Vince. He just left. On the midnight flyer. Right. I'd play him against the ponies. He'd figure out that stock market game too quick. It might be pretty tough cooling off afterwards, so don't take any chances.
If the play went right, everything I owned would eventually be searched. So I'd been forced to leave my gun behind.
Sorry. I must have jigged when the train jogged.
Well, that's all right. You gave me a chance to cheat myself.
Well, sorry. Say, I don't suppose you'd like to play a few hands of gin. I don't feel like sleeping.
Well, sure thing. Come on.
Thanks. I know what they say about playing cards with strangers, so if you want to limit it to matchsticks.
That's all right. You look like you have an honest face.
My name's Hanson. Nickel a point okay, then?
Mine's Carter, and a nickel and point's fine. Now, a man who gambles usually has the something-for-nothing instinct, which these boys count on, so I gamble.
Well, you seem to have done pretty well for yourself, Mr. Carter. Say, how about those Canadian women?
They're beautiful, every one of them.
I met one once. Let's see, she was from Peace River in Manitoba.
No, that's in Alberta.
Well, from someplace. Where do you stay in New York?
I have a room at the Savoy.
Any friends in New York?
No, not a one.
Neither have I. Say, I have a suite at the Riviera. It's in Manhattan. It's convenient. The company pays for it. Why don't you move in there? I hate to rattle around by myself.
Oh, that's very generous of you. I like that.
Fine, then that's settled.
Thank you very much, Jim. So far, so good. The train hadn't been lurching enough to throw him against me, so I knew I was on the merry-go-round. Now, getting on was the easy part. But if something went wrong, I knew I'd be on the way to the funeral of the best friend I ever had. Me. By noon the next day, Hanson and I had moved into the suite at the Riviera and become the best of chums.
What's that?
It's somebody's wallet.
Say, that's quite a bundle. About that. $1,000 bills.
Pretty good credit, too, especially in Las Vegas.
What's the name?
Graham. Let's check the desk, see if he's registered at the hotel.
Please go away. I don't want to see any reporters.
We're not reporters, sir.
And what do you want?
I believe you may have lost something. A wallet?
Yes. Yes, I did. Come in, please.
No offense, sir, but could you identify it?
Oh, yes, I can identify it. My name is Graham. Vegas credit cards, newspaper clipping, and a little cash for $5,000.
A little cash.
Oh, my name's Mr. Carter, Mr. Graham, and this is Mr. Hanson.
How do
This
you
is
do
indeed a pleasure.
And this is your wallet.
Thank you. Now, I insist that you divide this between you.
Oh, we wouldn't think of it, sir.
We're just glad we found it for you.
Well, then, 100 apiece for a night on the town? I insist.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Now, we must have a drink. You know, I feel like Diogenes. I've found not just one, but two honest men.
I gather you don't like newspaper men, Mr. Graham.
Well, to tell you the truth, if you'll look at this, I think it'll explain itself.
An unnamed mystery man was reputed to have lost nearly $500,000 at the casino of the newly opened Palisades Club here.
$500,000?
It happens sometimes. I naturally don't like it splashed in the papers.
Well, if you can afford to lose that much, it stands to reason you can make it.
Well, to tell you the truth, sit down. To tell you the truth, gentlemen, and I know I can trust you both, I'm here in New York to recoup that $500,000 and double it.
You mean you know a way to make $1 million just like that?
It must be a secret.
It is just that. But I could use some help. If I only had some friends absolutely trustworthy.
Well, I think we've already proved our integrity, sir. If we can help, at least I'd be interested.
Well, making money's my business, Mr. Graham. There's a profit-sharing arrangement.
Mr. Carter, it'll be all the profit you can handle.
And you'll use us?
Yes, I think so. But I must warn you, gentlemen, this is not a normal business deal. I was frank enough to tell you that I'm a professional gambler.
Well, we're all gamblers when you come right down to it, Mr. Graham.
That's certainly true, isn't it? Now, come on, I want to show you something. Now, just look, and I'll explain later. And you can make your decision.
They were setting the hook perfectly. It wasn't hard to believe that even a basically honest man like my client's husband would swallow it. Now they were turning on the convincers.
Sir George and Teddy Bear last. Into the back stretch. It's Lucky Lou on top. Base runner second. Caledon third. Odds on fourth. Then Sir George and Teddy Bear last. At the half, it's still Lucky Lou in front. Caledon, Sir George, Teddy Bear, odds on. Lucky Lou in front, Caledon, and base runner. Base runner neck and neck in second. Then Sir George, Teddy Bear, and odds on. Going for home, it's... Okay, kiddies, you can relax. We'll send the pigeon up in half an hour.
It's very simple. Another suite in this hotel is really the headquarters of the biggest bookmaking combine in the country.
Right here in the hotel?
Right here. It's quite an organization. They have a man stationed at the racetrack with a hidden walkie-talkie. He broadcasts a running account of the race. The broadcast is picked up by Johnson in the suite upstairs. Johnson rebroadcasts it to the headquarters of the combine.
Well, how does that benefit us?
What would you say if I were to tell you that Johnson and I have made a little deal?
You mean to fake the results?
No. Merely to hold back the results for a few minutes. Just long enough for Johnson to phone me the winner, for me to get upstairs and place my bet.
And you've got a sure thing. You can't lose.
I don't see how. And no one suffers but the bookmaker, and he's dishonest anyway. Well, gentlemen, how about it?
I don't know. It sounds too good to be true. Why do you want us?
If I keep going in there and winning huge sums of money, it'll be dangerous. I am a known gambler. But if we go in and realize, and you play some of the big bets for me, we can keep it up for a week.
Just what do we get out of it?
Mr. Hanson, I'm giving you a chance to bet on a sure thing. The rest is up to you. With 10% of the profits going to Johnson.
That sounds fair enough to me. Count me in.
That goes for me, too.
Fine. Now, we can have a trial run today. I won't bet anything, but you two can use the money that I gave you. See how it works.
Well, it's your money. We've got nothing to lose.
Probably Johnson now. Yes? Right. The winner is Blue Lady in the third. Now, that's your bet. Come on, let's go.
It was a real flashy layup. The most legitimate-looking, illegitimate business I'd ever seen. Graham presented us as friends of his to the manager, and that seemed good enough for him.
The third, scratch number 6, tailor-made.
Oh, Pete. Please take good care of my friends, Mr. Carter, Mr. Hanson. Good luck.
Certainly. That's 8,560, sir.
Let's make a bet. Here's mine.
So it's post Bayside.
I have 200 on Blue Lady to win.
200?
Yeah.
Oh, is that all, boys?
Well, that's quite a bit of money.
Of course. 200 on Blue Lady.
They're off at Bayside. Cookie breaks on top. Tom Thumb second. Skyboy third. Blue Lady and Goldenrod. The half, it's Cookie and Skyboy in front. Tom Thumb third. Goldenrod and Blue Lady. Turning for home, Skyboy. Cookie second. Tom Thumb, Blue Lady, and Goldenrod. Into the stretch.
Skyboy, Tom Thumb,
Blue Lady.
Skyboy, Tom Thumb. Blue Lady is now challenging for the lead. It's Blue Lady and Skyboy.
And it's Blue Lady the winner.
Skyboy second.
She won!
And Tom Thumb.
Looks like we're in business. Let's get our money.
It's official.
Well, here it is, Mr. Grant, $1,200.
How do we split this up?
You boys divide it. It's yours.
Well, no, we couldn't do that. After all, it was your money.
Mr. Carter, a few $100 isn't going to help any of us. The important thing is that we know it works.
They thought we were pretty cheap when we only bet 200.
Well, we'll fix that. Johnson called just before you came back. We can make our big play in the 6th race tomorrow. Personally, I intend to bet $25,000.
I have a few thousands in traveler's checks.
Well, if that's the most you can manage, you probably can win a month's wages. Mr. Carter, what about you? You impress me as a man who recognizes the knock of opportunity.
Well, I don't see how we can lose.
It's impossible. How much can you manage on short notice?
Well, I'll bet $25,000 if you will.
I like a man of vision, but you'll have to get it quickly.
Well, I can call my bank in Canada, and they'll have a draft for me tomorrow.
Use my phone. There's no time to waste.
Yeah. This is Mr. Carter. I'd like to place a call to the Ontario Bank Limited in Ontario, Canada. I'd like to speak to the bank president, Mr. Jennings. Can you remember those instructions, operator?
Yes, Mr. Carter, I remember. Operator, I'm calling Mrs. Farrell at Cape Cod 2038.
Uh-huh. Oh, good. That's all set. The money will be here tomorrow.
Here's the luck.
Yeah.
My luck in having met you both.
Please, Jim, it's just something I had to do.
The money itself isn't the most important.
Jim, not here.
Look, my bank called me. They tell me you had $25,000 transferred to some New York account. I have a right to know why.
You haven't confided in me in over a month now. I think I have the same right of refusal.
That's all he knew. Mrs. Farrell transferred the money this afternoon. Exactly $25,000. All that lovely money and a 50-50 chance he's a legitimate mark.
Well, I say let's play him for it anyway. With a little variation.
All right, we'll play him. But I'm too old for a bunco rap. This time, there'll be just one blank in the chamber. The rest are going to be the real thing.
I wasn't too worried yet. During the night when Regan slipped out, I called the police telling them to raid the horse room a few minutes after 4 o'clock. That was when the 6th race would be running. I told them to pick up Graham at the same time, but, well, a bunco or fraud rap is one of the hardest to prove. So they had to be caught with their hands right in the cookie jar.
Ready for the big day, boys?
I could only raise $1,800. Frankly, it's all I've got in the world.
How about you, Carter?
I'm all set.
Good. Now, there's been a slight change.
Change?
Yes. Johnson says that the field in the 6th has been narrowed to 4 horses. Very bad odds. So we're going to make our play in the 4th.
Yeah, but you said the 6th. The 4th goes any minute now.
Doesn't make any difference, does it?
No, I guess it doesn't.
Well, now, here's my money. I'll stay here, and you come back as soon as the play's over with the payoff. Right? Yes? Got it. Now, here's your play. Place all the money on Big Marcy in the 4th.
Place it all on Big Marcy in the 4th, yeah.
Now, come on. Hurry. Let's get going.
The change of plans could have been for a number of reasons. It would have left me on my own without a gun. I could have taken a chance and jumped Regan, but I decided not to. Somehow I kept telling myself this time they were going to lose to me. My police protection wouldn't show for another hour.
That's the post at Bayside.
Come on, hurry up. $51,800. Big Marcy to win.
What I needed now was time. Anything to stall for time. And then hope maybe the police would show up early. I changed my mind. I don't want to bet.
No, but are you crazy? Graham would kill us. To win. Bet it.
Yeah, but not my money.
Now, listen, boys. It all goes to win.
Yeah, but not my money. I don't want to bet.
No.
They're off at Bayside.
Cloudman breaks on top.
It's a bet, gentlemen.
Sarah Sue second.
For Watts here up to
Rocky
51-8.
third.
On Big Marcy to win.
And Big Marcy. Shadow. Playboy.
Are you crazy? What's the matter with you?
I got a hunch. I guess I was scared. I never bet this kind of money before.
Well, calm down. It's a cinch, isn't it?
Yeah.
The half, it's still Cloudman in front.
Rocky second. Big Marcy third. Sarah Sue. Shadow. Playboy.
Is Big Marcy taking the lead?
Cloudman second. Sarah Sue third. And Shadow, Rocky, and Playboy.
Turning for a home, it's Big Marcy by a length.
Cloudman second. Sarah Sue third. And
Rocky, Shadow, and Playboy.
in the stretch, it's Big Marcy by a length. Cloudman second. Sarah Sue third. And Rocky, Shadow, Playboy.
Coming down to the finish, it's Cloudman the winner.
Big Marcy second. Sarah Sue third. It's official.
There must be some mistake.
Yeah, I told you. Look, I want my money back. I said no bet. You heard me.
I'm sorry. Your bet was to win. Big Marcy placed.
It's impossible.
I think we were both wrong. If we go back now, Graham will expect the money. He'll say we should have placed the bet. He'll blame us for the mistake. He said place it on Big Marcy.
Shut up. Do you want to get us?
Look, I want my money. 25,000 of that's my money, and I want my money.
I'll take it easy.
Your hands off of me. I want my money.
Don't be a fool. Pull that thing or we're all in trouble. Get him out and let Graham cool him off.
Edgar checked. Carter's a phony. Must be a cop or a shamus. Get rid of him. Permanent.
Don't let him go. He's a cop.
Not here. Don't kill him here. Pete, get the car.
I feel like such a fool. Such a grief.
Well, I don't take all the blame. And informing on it.
I didn't happen to our marriage.
So, it's nice wealthy Canadian once in a while.
Welcome back. This is the type of story that was done often during the 1950s. They're not usually on private detective programs, but more on programs that were focused on police or federal law enforcement. Exposing of scams, rackets that were used to defraud the American people was a big theme in the 1950s. So big, in fact, that there was actually a series focused just on rackets called Racket Squad. And it focused on all of these sort of con games and how people would be taken advantage of. And there was a radio program called Easy Money that served much the same purpose. There was one similarity between this episode of Video Theater and the previous one, and that is the presence of Herb Vigran. And if you watch classic TV, you will see a lot of Herb Vigran. When I checked his IMDb, Internet Movie Database profile, I was stunned by the number of credits. 373 different productions. And often there were TV shows where he made multiple appearances, including The Adventures of Superman, both versions of Dragnet, Adam 12, Gunsmoke, Bewitched, The Lucy Show, and oh so many more. He's one of those guys who you should practically put his face next to the words character actor in the dictionary. The only other observation out of this is taken together with the previous episode of Richard Diamond. This shows he's got a bad habit of cutting his plans really, really close and then having to deal with when things go really wrong. Might want to work in a little bit more margin next time, Diamond. All right, well, that will do it for this week. Join us back here next time for another episode of Public Domain Video Theater. In the meantime, if you do have a comment, send it to me, box13@greatdetectives.net. Follow us on Twitter at Radio Detectives and become one of our friends on Facebook, facebook.com/Radio Detectives. And if you like these videos, you can become one of our patrons at patreon.com/Radio Detectives. From Boise, Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham, signing off.